Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive edition of British Rewind, where we dive deep into the heart-pounding moments that shake the foundations of morning television. Today we're unraveling one of the most shocking celebrity meltdowns in recent history, the infamous incident where legendary Beatles icon Sir Paul McCartney was unceremoniously kicked off Lorraine Kelly's beloved ITV morning show following a heated argument that left jaws on the floor and headlines screaming across the globe. Picture this. It's a crisp October morning in 2025, the studio lights are buzzing with that familiar warmth of a chat show ready to charm the nation, and in strolls Paul McCartney, the 83-year-old maestro whose melodies have soundtracked generations, from the euphoric highs of Hey Jude to the introspective depths of his solo masterpieces like Maybe I'm Amazed. He's there to promote his latest memoir, a reflective tome titled Echoes of Yesterday, which promises untold stories from his Liverpool youth, his turbulent years with John, George and Ringo, and the quiet revolutions he sparked in music and vegetarian advocacy over 5 decades. The audience, a mix of wide-eyed millennials discovering the Fab Four through TikTok clips and silver-haired fans clutching faded concert stubs, erupts in applause as Paul settles into the plush armchair opposite Lorraine, his signature bass guitar propped nearby like an old friend. Now let's zoom into the maelstrom itself, that electrifying 5 minutes where civility crumbled and raw emotion took the stage, turning a routine promo spot into a masterclass in live-wire tension. The argument ignites subtly, like a slow-burning fuse in a fireworks factory, with Lorraine's innocuous query about the memoir's Beatles chapter serving as the spark. Paul, fans are divided. Your book saying John pulled the plug, but wasn't it mutual combustion? Drugs, fame, Yoko, the whole cocktail? She asks, her Scottish lilt softening the edge, but her eyes gleaming with the thrill of the chase. Paul, leaning forward, his wedding ring catching the light, a poignant reminder of his late Linda, responds measuredly, mutual? Lorraine, love, it was John's call. He came to us with I've got a new scene, that's the fact, straight from the horse's mouth. The audience murmurs, some nodding in allegiance to their hero, others whispering doubts gleaned from Peter Jackson's Get Back docuseries. Lorraine, undaunted, swivels to her tablet, pulling up a tweet from Yoko Ono's account, a cryptic haiku about echoes that distort the silence. See? She's heartbroken, Paul. At 92, why poke the bear, or the walrus, as John called you? The jab lands. Paul's chuckle is forced, his fingers intertwining as if to steady a phantom bass line. Poke? This is healing, not harming. We've all moved on, me with wings, John with his beds-ins, George with his gardens, Ringo with his peace. But Lorraine smells blood, circling back to the Paul is dead myth, that bizarre 69 rumor fueled by album clues like barefoot Abbey Road steps symbolizing a grave. In the blistering aftermath of Paul's dramatic exit, the world didn't just watch, it detonated, a digital domino effect cascading from studio shadows into global spotlight, where every tweet, TikTok and tabloid became ammunition in the battle for public verdict. Within seconds of the feed cutting to Persil detergent ads, brightens even the toughest stains ITV's switchboard jammed, lines buzzing with irate viewers demanding retractions or reruns, while Paul's Liverpool fan club mobilized a petition for justice for Macca, amassing 100,000 signatures by lunch. Social media, that insatiable beast, feasted first. Hashtag Lorraine Kicks Paul trended atop X, spawning memes of Paul's silhouette morphing into the Abbey Road cover with a red kick stamp, or deepfake videos syncing his Walkout to Get Back lyrics. Get back to where you once belonged, off the show. Celebrities piled on like uninvited guests at a Beatles jam. Elton John, Paul's longtime sparring pal turned confidant, posted a photo of them hugging at Glastonbury with caption legends lift each other, unlike some, a velvet-gloved slap at Kelly. Ringo, ever the peacemaker, drummed a video response, hey, arguments happen, let's all have a laugh and a cuppa. Peace and love. Even Yoko Ono, from her Dakota perch, weighed in obliquely via Instagram, a scan of John's Imagine manuscript overlaid with Truth is the ultimate song, let it play. Taylor Swift, fresh from her Eras tour, retweeted a fan clip with heart emojis, boosting visibility to 50 million impressions. On the flip side, Lorraine's loyalists rallied. Her co-host Christine Lampard defended on air, Lorraine's the best, tough questions make great TV, while Scottish celebs like James McAvoy praised her no-BS Highland spirit. Piers Morgan, never one to miss a fray, live tweeted, finally, someone grills McCartney like he deserves. From the quiet confines of his Sussex estate, where rolling greens whisper of simpler times and Linda's gardens bloom eternal, Paul McCartney processed the storm not with vitriol, but with the quiet resolve of a songwriter who's penned anthems from adversity. In the hours post-Walkout, as helicopters buzzed overhead like paparazzi vultures, Paul retreated to his piano, fingers tracing keys in an impromptu riff that would later evolve into a B-side for his next EP, tentatively off the record. Close aides recount him chuckling over tea, organic naturally, with Stella, Lorraine's got gumption, I'll give her that. Reminds me of arguing set lists with John. Yet beneath the bemusement lay genuine chagrin. At 83, with knighthood and billions in back catalogue, Paul craves connection, not conflict. His inner sanctum, a sanctum of Strads and silver discs, became confessional ground. To publicist Lee Eastman Jr. he lamented, I went in for a natter about the book, not a trial. Feels like the 60s press all over, who's the real Beatle? The memoir, Echoes of Yesterday, was his olive branch to history, a 400-page mosaic of unguarded gems, childhood gigs in smoky cavern clubs, the electric thrill of Ed Sullivan's edifice, the ache of Brian Epstein's loss. Blaming John for the split wasn't spite, but therapy, decades of carrying the nice one yoke, smiling through Yoko Barb's and Alan Klein lawsuits. Fans think I orchestrated it, he told Mary over vegan shepherd's pie, but I fought to keep us together, hired lawyers to save our songs from sharks. The argument stung because it echoed old wounds. John's How Do You Sleep still jars like a bad chord, and Lorraine's probes felt like picking at healed scars. Paul's response post-statement, channeled through a rare podcast with longtime pal Jimmy Fallon, remote from his home studio, was poetic deflection. Look, Rose happen, life's a jam session. Lorraine's a pro, next time, we'll duet on Yesterday instead of Yesterbeefs. Delving into the personal reverberations of Paul McCartney's televised Tempest, we find the Beatles bard retreating to the sanctuary of his Sussex estate, where rolling hills and wandering sheep offer balm to a bruised ego. At 83, Paul's no stranger to spotlight skirmishes. Recall the 1966 More Popular Than Jesus backlash or the 1980s Paul is Dead hoaxes, but this feels viscerally different, a betrayal by the very medium that lionized him. Over tea with his wife Nancy, 65 and a pillar of quiet strength, he unpacks the sting. It's not the questions, love, it's the undercurrent, like they want the wounds, not the healing. Nancy, ever the diplomat, suggests a low-key response, perhaps a blog post or a new track, but Paul's instinct leans toward action, channeling ire into art, as he did with Band on the Run post-arrest in Tokyo. His children rally round. Stella, the firebrand designer, blasts Lorraine on Instagram with a sketch of a microphone morphing into a snake, captioning words as weapons. Not on our watch. Mary, the photographer, captures candid shots of Paul in the garden, strumming idly, her lens transforming vulnerability into visual poetry. James, the low-profile musician, joins for an impromptu jam, their harmonies weaving catharsis from chaos. Even Beatrice, his youngest from a previous marriage, texts encouragement from afar, Dad, you're the real deal, don't let them dim your light. Family fortifies, but the isolation gnaws. Paul pens journal entries musing on John's similar clashes with the press, wondering if fame's price is eternal vigilance. Across town, Lorraine Kelly grapples with her own crossroads, the Walkout a mirror to her evolution from plucky reporter to ratings queen. In her cozy Glasgow flat, she confides to husband Steve, I built this on candor, but did I cross into cruelty? Steve, her anchor since 1992, reminds her of triumphs, exposing scandals, championing causes, but the doubt lingers.